LitFire presents Underground Stories, edited by Rosalie H. Contino, Ph.D., performed by Andy Ackerman. The cab dropped Brad at a handsome residential hotel adjacent to Central Park. There being no doorman, he showed himself into the elegant lobby and looked around. There were fresh flowers on the reception desk, with a sign reading, "Welcome Carla B9094 and Brad E1432. But there was no one behind the desk or anywhere else in sight. A sign near the elevator said it was out of service, so he walked up 8 floors. The stairwell and 8th floor corridor were empty and quiet. The door to Suite 82 led into a standard air shower stall. Brad closed the door, flipped the switch, and stood still while the shower did its work. A recording prompted him to bend his right leg to expose the bottom of his boot to the air spray, and then to do the same with his left. When the shower stopped and the suction vacuum ran its course, he opened the inner door and stepped into the apartment. No sign of Carla, but this was not surprising since he was 30 minutes early. He removed his helmet and explored the apartment. He found it consisted of a small kitchen, a combination of living dining room with a balcony overlooking Central Park, a bedroom with a king-size bed, and a bathroom containing a large sunken tub surrounded by unlit candles. On the kitchen counter, he found 2 half-gallon jugs of water and 6 RTEs, ready-to-eat, vegetarian meals, each labeled with either his name or Carla's. 2 of the meals were in blue packaging, 2 in yellow, and 2 in green, designating dinner, breakfast, and lunch. There was also a letter from Harvey J. 5643, Secretary of Health and Human Services, saying they would be picked up the next afternoon and taken to a house on the New Jersey shore for a 1-week honeymoon. Brad walked back to the living room, plopped on the sofa, and switched on the TV. He surfed the channels and was happy to see that the reproduction channel was available. It had been unblocked on his home set the day he received email notification of the repro assignment. The channel offered clinical lectures on reproduction, instruction on the art of lovemaking, and romantic scenes from old movies that he had never heard of, which he enjoyed and watched repeatedly. He wanted to be a sensitive and effective lover for Carla, and hoped she felt the same way about him. He surfed past the repro channel, feeling it would be indelicate to have it on when Carla walked in, and settled on the History Channel, which was showing a documentary about the chaos that ensued when the deadly pathogen known as the Armageddon bug was unleashed against America. Then, hearing the air shower start up, he switched off the TV and stood facing the door expectantly. All he knew about Carla was her name. The government said it was better if the repro couple handled their own introductions, and that photos were not furnished because they could be misleading. The interior shower door opened and Carla stepped into the apartment. She was wearing a white jumpsuit, which indicated she worked in the medical field. "Hello, Carla. I'm Brad." "Yes. How do you do, Brad?" Her helmet's amplification system made her voice sound emotionless and metallic. Brad could only faintly make out her face through the UV coating on the helmet, and because survival suits were loose-fitting, he had no idea of her figure, although it was safe to assume she was slender like everyone else living on RTEs. Brad, who had never been in the presence of a woman whose face was exposed, was eager for Carla to remove her helmet. She could do this because couples in repro were exempted from the requirement that complete survival suits be worn whenever in the presence of others. "So, are you going to take off your helmet and stay a while?" he asked with a smile. "Oh, sure," she said, and hurriedly removed it. They stood motionless and stared intently at one another for a full half-minute, during which each of these ordinary-looking young people privately pronounced the other beautiful. Because face-to-face encounters between the sexes were precluded by the survival suit law, repro sessions were always intense Adam meets Eve experiences. This has been Underground Stories, edited by Rosalie H. Contino, Ph.D. Performed by Andy Ackerman. Text copyright 2015 by Rosalie H. Contino, Ph.D. Production copyright 2016 by LitFire. All rights reserved. Thank you for listening.